everyone, my name is Queen94. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I am a huge New Orleans Saints fan, as well as being a huge fan of the NFL. And wow, can you believe that there are only 2 months left in the NFL? I mean, Week 10 had some great games, and probably the game of the year with the Vikings and the Bills. And congratulations to the Commanders, making sure that the Eagles lost, so that every single team in the NFL has at least one. So, pretty great week, unless you're a Saints fan, which is what we're about to talk about. Now, clearly I am on camera today, so yay for that. And it is cold here in the forest. Ugh, it is below freezing. That is why I have my jacket on. But without further ado, let's go ahead and let's dive into this piece. I have a feeling we have a lot to talk about. So, let's dive into it. Saints and Steelers. Okay, so in the first quarter, the Steelers get the ball to start. Pickett is sacked by Chris Harris with 9:45. The Steelers convert on a pass to Warren on 4th and 2, keeping the drive alive. Pickett hands the ball to Pickens for the touchdown with 5:07, giving the Steelers the 7-0 lead. Najee finds a big hole up the middle, and a missed tackle leads to a big gain for Pittsburgh. The Steelers lead the Saints 7-0 to end the first. Okay. At the start of the second, Wright kicks a 33-yard field goal to make it a 10-0 game with 14:21. Saints go downfield on a nice drive, but it ends with a Lutz 44-yard kick to make it a 3-10 game with 6:40. Adebo gets a pass interference call at 6:01. Alice sacks Pickett at the 2-minute warning. Steelers get a personal foul, which puts the Saints at 1st and goal. Dalton throws to Johnson for the 15-yard touchdown to make it a 10-10 game with 19 seconds left. Game is tied at 10-10 going into the half. Third quarter. Saints get the ball to start. Penalties and incomplete passes forces the Saints to punt. Pickett gets a nice run to pick up the first. Onumata sacks Pickett on 1st and goal with 9:45. Wright attempts a 39-yard field goal for Pittsburgh and misses with 8:55. Pickett then finds Deontay Johnson for 36 yards to keep the drive alive. Game is tied at 10-10 to end the third. Fourth quarter, where it gets interesting. The Steelers kick a 33-yard field goal to make it a 13-10 game with 13:43. Dalton throws to Landry, and the ball is tipped and intercepted. A missed tackle on Warren keeps the drive alive for the Steelers. Adebo gets another pass interference, giving them a 1st and goal at the 1 with 8:40 left. Pickett gets the quarterback sneak touchdown to make it a 20-10 game with 8:38. Dalton gets sacked on 4th and 1 on a QB sneak, leading to a turnover on downs with 7:44. Steelers attempt a 48-yard field goal, and it's missed with 5:33. Dalton throws a pick with 4:23 left. Steelers beat the Saints 20-10. Yeah, wow, just wow. Listen, the Saints have had some bad losses this year. I mean, the loss to the Vikings was super heartbreaking. The loss to the Bengals was very frustrating. But in my honest opinion, I think that this is the stupidest loss of the season. And I'm going to tell you why it's the stupidest loss of the season. Now, last week, I just wasn't feeling it. I just had a really bad, sluggish week. So I just didn't feel like getting on camera. So I made a last-minute video that was uploaded literally on Sunday morning. I would really not recommend anybody check that out. But listen, there are some things I said in that video, which I'll give the gist of it here. Never should have uploaded it, but I feel like I owed it to the Ravens. But if you didn't see it, you didn't miss anything. But I'll give you the gist of what I said in that video. I said that the Saints would win by 5 points, at least. I couldn't legitimately see a reason why we would lose this game. I was extremely overconfident because I did the math and I did the research, and I actually, I really actually did the research on this game, and based on how badly the Steelers had been playing this entire season, I figured, I know that we have one win ahead of them at the time. I can't see why the Saints would lose this game. I don't think that the Steelers have been very good this year. So, and not that we've been better, but I feel like we were slightly better. Um, Either way, listen, if you heard the commentary in this game, then you know there were a lot of first for the Steelers. So that alone should tell you everything you need to know. I am in shock over this loss, and probably because I was completely wrong. But still, at the same time, this is why I don't think numbers really matter. You know, everybody says, "Oh, okay, well, this team has beaten this team 13 times. Well, what about the one time that this other team has the upper hand?" So it's like, you know, numbers don't matter unless they're records, right? So I don't know. You know what? Maybe it's my fault for believing in something that just isn't there. Don't worry, I'm the expert at this. Trust me, I've been doing that my whole life. But you know what? I don't know. I mean, maybe I completely underestimated the Steelers, in which I apologize. Whatever it was, this was a game which, based on numbers, again, should not have lost. So how did the Saints fumble it? Well, let's break it down. It was a very lackluster performance, to say the least. I don't know how you sum it up better than that. It seemed like everybody didn't really know how to do their jobs, except maybe special teams. I don't know. No passion, no aggression, except for when Andy Dalton did. Was it underthrown? Yeah, it was underthrown. It was an underthrown ball. I mean, I don't even know what Kevin White is actually doing there. I mean, what's he doing on that side of the field, anyways? And that, I mean, that, you know, why didn't he throw it to Olave or why didn't he throw it to Johnson? This is a guy he doesn't really have chemistry with, so why is he there in a big moment? Or even Shaheed could have been there on that route. I don't know what Kevin White's doing there. Why do we throw to a guy who barely gets any touches or any passes thrown to him anyway? Like a big situation like that. But you know, that wasn't Andy trying to force the ball. He should have known better. As for the other interception, I mean, so great that Jarvis Landry is back, but come on, man, you know, pay more attention. I'd say that probably was more on him than it was on Andy. You know, you got to catch that ball, and again, you know, because Jarvis has missed so much time, he doesn't have that rapport with Andy. So you know, I don't really know who to blame that on. I know a lot of people are gonna say blame it on Dalton, but you know, then again, this was Jarvis's Jarvie. This is his first game back, so yeah, there's no chemistry there. Dalton had 174 yards, one touchdown, two interceptions. He would listen. He wasn't all that bad when he first started, and he filled in for Winston. But he has gotten progressively worse, and I can attest to this. And listen, I like Andy Dalton. I have for many years. In fact, probably about like 10 years ago when he was with the Bengals, when I actually liked the Bengals. There was a time I actually really liked the Bengals. Now, not so much, but I think in a weird way, I think Saints fans kind of turned me off on the Bengals. No offense, I don't mean that disrespectfully, but it's like, you know, I mean, I don't want to be hypocrite because I like the Bengals, but I liked them a very long time ago, and I didn't like stand them like that. Um, I liked them, you know, when they had Marvin Lewis and AJ Green and Ben Jarvis. I mean, that was years ago. Obviously, they're not that team, and they never could get past the first round anyway. But clearly, Dalton is deteriorating before our very eyes. I mean, yeah, he has his go-to guys already, which is, you know, Johnson and kind of that on and off relationship he has with Olave, but I mean, he isn't living up to expectations, but then nobody has since Breeze retired. So, you know, all this talk about Winston and you know, Taysom, what does it matter? They're never going to be Breeze, and they're never. I don't know if that. I don't want to say that Winston may never because he's still young, but you know, he's slightly older than me, so. But you know, let's change it a little bit. Let's talk about DA for a little bit, just a little bit. Listen, I think he's too much of a softie, in my honest opinion. His play calling is not very effective and hasn't really been working. And truth be told, he was the head coach of the Raiders, and I don't remember that. I mean, it sounds right, but I just don't remember this. This is probably when they were in Oakland because it was about 10 years ago. But listen, I'm starting to see what everybody's talking about, and I mean, probably the lack of usage of Taysom is what is making me see DA for, you know, who he truly is. I just don't think he's not like Sean. Listen, Sean knew how to utilize Taysom, and he knew how to draw plays. And listen, Sean was the guy. He was the ish. So, you know, DA doesn't strike me as that kind of guy. But either way, I think just not using Taysom, that's what's getting me, because I think Taysom is like one of our best weapons, and he's not being used. And again, Da did a pretty great job with that defense last year, but you know something isn't working now that he's head coach. It just you know it's not working. Now listen, I'm not on the Da. I'm not on the fire Da train as of yet. Um, but obviously, if we have a losing season, I don't see him being head coach next year. But we have 2 months to figure this out. You know, patience is kind of running a little bit low there. But getting back to this game, you know, the run game was not a factor. In the video I made last week, I said it wouldn't be. Well, actually, I said that Kamara could get 100 yards. So maybe I was obviously very dead wrong about that. I said we could give it a shot, you know, so, of course, had we used Taysom a little bit more, you know, maybe, that might be the best thing about the Steelers is, their guys up front. Listen, they got great defensive players, TJ Watt, you know, Cameron Hayward, pretty solid guys. They held Kamara to only 26 yards. Then he led in rushing, so fair enough. Johnson led with, receiving with 44 yards and a touchdown, so couldn't really throw on them either. There just wasn't anything good to say about our offensive performance. Not enough big plays, not a lot of effort, no rhythm, and the O-line cracked again. So what more can be said? On the defensive side, boy oh boy, what a switch from last year, you know, and you know Marcus Williams and CJ Gardner-Johnson is being completely successful. And I know, you know, we don't have them, and you see them and it's like, gosh, why did we let them go, right? And then, you know, I know Lattimore has missed plenty of time, which is costing us big. And all this hype surrounding Tyrann Mathieu. You either love him or you hate him. Right now, I'm not a fan. I'm not going to lie. This defense can't get a takeaway to save their life. I mean, you know, no offense, but Pickett is a rookie who threw 5 picks prior to this game. And we couldn't pick him off once, literally. We made him look pretty darn good. I mean, he had almost 200 yards, no picks, no touchdowns, you know, 51 yards rushing, and yeah, made him look pretty good. I said hopefully we don't let Najee get 100 yards in this game. He got 99. So Saints used to have a really great run defense, one of the best run defenses in the entire NFL. And listen, overall the numbers weren't great. The numbers weren't great for Pittsburgh, I should say. I mean, they missed 2 field goals, and yet, you know, we couldn't capitalize on anything that they did wrong. So, but again, why would you with 10 penalties for over 70 yards? What are you going to do with that? Seriously, I mean, you have 10 penalties for 70 yards, and it gets better, trust me. They held the ball for almost 40 minutes. Almost 40 minutes rounded out. That's unbelievable to me. That is really crazy to think that. We had him for like 20 minutes? You know, I can't pinpoint where the Saints went wrong, probably when they stepped onto Heinz Field, or what it used to be Heinz Field, formerly known as, but whatever. I mean, I have to tell you that game was a complete waste of time and energy, and I think that if you're a Saints fan who turned the game off, I think you get a pass. I didn't, but, you know, you can get a pass for this, because that game was just a complete solid waste of time. It's just the Saints doing dumb things. They're sainting it up again. And, you know, we're just highly undisciplined, unmotivated. You know, with everything at your fingertips, you know, how can you let it slip away? Because the division, it's still up for grabs. I guess we don't want it, apparently. This was a winnable game, and clearly the Saints said, nah, we don't want to win it. So, I can admit when I was wrong. I completely miscalled this game. My oh my, do I have to apologize to the Steelers? Listen, I'm not going to take away anything from the Steelers. You know, I thought we were better than that, and I thought that this was an easy win. My bad. Pittsburgh played great on defense, which allowed their offense to do what they needed to do to be successful. I think they stole our game plan. I think what Pittsburgh did to us is what we should have done to them. Unfortunately, it didn't work out that way. Credit to the Steelers. A team I'm very indifferent about, so best of luck moving forward. Not crazy about your division, so, you know, may the better team win. But no disrespect. Obviously, great win. I don't know the next time we'll see you, but best of luck. Alright, so I'm trying to wrap this up as best as I can. So, Rams in New Orleans. Should I even bother? Or should I just, turn my computer off and say, nah, I'm done? I'm gonna be real with you. I don't like the Rams. I don't think that's a big shock. For obvious reasons, but then again, I never really cared for them. Never really cared for them when they were in St. Louis either. But since 2018, I think that they are one of the most overrated, overhyped teams. And look, I don't want to trash talk, but I don't want to sugarcoat things. I like to keep it real. I like to be honest. And, I just don't like McVay. I think he's a tryhard, in all honesty, because he tries to fit in with his guys because they're in this similar age group, and he's a millennial, and so is Matthew Stafford, as am I. Not to diss on millennials, but I mean, it's like, it's like I have my opinions on McVay, but for me, it's like he just tries too hard to be one of the guys instead of a head coach. But that's just me now. I know he won a Super Bowl. Either way, I respect Stafford a little bit for getting out of Dodge in a team that was stifling his potential. He won a Super Bowl, so, congrats to him. A chance he might not have ever gotten in Detroit. But I do have a favorite guy out there, and that is Cooper Kupp, because he's won me championships for 3 straight seasons. 3 or 2, I'm not sure. But Kupp isn't playing, so don't really need to kind of, talk about my love for Cooper Kupp. But anyway, let's dive into this really quick. The Rams are a 3-6 team and have struggled since winning the Super Bowl. That being said, dare I say we can win this game at home? Dare I say it? The Saints are 4.5. I'm sorry, not 4.5. They're 4-point favorites. Well, one source said that they were. If you can believe it. Matthew Stafford is expected to play despite not playing last week, and even the numbers haven't been great for him. A lot of passing yards, but a few touchdowns here and there, and a couple of picks as well. They do not have Kupp in this game, so that means that they'll probably use Higbee or Robinson, whose numbers are not nearly as great. And I think that losing Kupp might just be our best advantage here to win this game. Listen, Kupp is their main guy, and that's the guy that they use most. But, I can't really see Higbee or Robinson having Kupp-like performances, especially since Higbee is a tight end, and the Saints have allowed 1 touchdown to a tight end this season, I think. I don't know if it's 1. It sounds about right, which was likely, but they don't give up a lot of yards to tight ends, so I'm not particularly concerned about Higbee. Robinson, maybe. Either way, I think that if Kupp was playing, I think this would be a completely different game. They don't particularly run the ball well because they have this running back battle with Henderson and Akers, and neither one has really had a big game. So not overly concerned with that. Someone is going to step up because Stafford has a lot of passing yards, but the question is, who's going to step up for them, and is it going to be enough? Now, mind you, we are banged up on defense, and I gave up hope for Lattimore returning. If Pete Warner doesn't play, it's a huge loss, and Cameron Jordan apparently has an eye issue. Seriously, just put an eye patch on it and get out there. I don't mean any disrespect, but seriously, his eye, that's why he's not playing. So that's a huge loss. Either way, we'll see what happens. On the opposite side, Dalton is going to have to start. Well, Dalton is going to start, no surprise there. He can't turn the ball over, clearly. They have given up some yards to running backs, so it's possible to run on them. Again, use Taysom. That's like a big thing here. I don't see Kamara getting over 100 yards, but I think he can be useful. A few touchdowns here, maybe even a receiving touchdown. They do give up some passing yards, so this could be a game where Olave Johnson, can come up big. I'd like to see more of Shaheed. I know that he's kind of the return guy, but I'd like to see more of him. Getting back to it, the O-line has to do a better job of protecting Dalton since we know he's going to start. They got a pretty decent defense. They got big old Aaron Donald, who does not like Saints quarterbacks, apparently. So they got a solid defense. Again, Taysom. I'm gonna keep stressing that. But either way, you know, I think this is winnable. I'm not gonna say what I think we can win by. But this is a must-needed win, obviously. So, and listen, on the subject, sort of, the Rams have been screwing us for years, and I mean literally for years. Even last year when when all they had to do was beat San Francisco, excuse me, and would have sent us to the playoffs. They choked, and they probably did it on purpose because they probably didn't want to have to face us. But I mean, even then, who knows? Maybe they wouldn't be defending Super Bowl champions right now. But maybe they played it smart. But man, I mean, we need this for our egos, right? We need this win for our egos, and you can never make up or repay what happened in 2018. But you know, if we get this win, it's a little, you know, a part of the recovery process. You know, not really, but you know, I'm gonna say this again: play smart, play clean, no stupid penalties, blah blah blah. Do your job, and we can win this game. Not overly concerned about it, not sweating over here like I was against the Ravens. This one's more manageable. We can try to see if we can win, and it's at home. So, but that is my take. The division is slowly slipping away with every loss we take. Still in reach, but I think that's all I have to say in regards to that. So once again, my name is HudatQueen94. I'm on Twitter under the same name, or my ad is HudatQueen94. Or my name is Olavi the Saint Savior. You can follow me there, but with Twitter dying apparently, I guess it's not a huge loss. It's not a big priority of mine to have followers at this time, pending what happens to Twitter. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If not, that's okay. If you'd like to subscribe, I much appreciate it. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and let's go Saints. Hudat baby.